could be about family values. This could be about finding balance with how you create. But I'm feeling a strong pull towards love. And this could, again, just be a separate message. So, all right, so for some of you, the Six of Cups with the Five of Wands, that's an old love that you have fought for. Perhaps it wasn't something that brought you a lot of joy or that you could really go too deep with or go too far with the Five of Pentacles. There seemed to be some kind of lack mindset that needed to change. And from two potentials here, it could either be a change to bringing a higher love and more peace with this person from the past. Could have been something that you really struggled with, or you both struggled with in the relationship. And it's like you really wanted this deep union that really brought you a lot of peace. And you have been fighting for it with the Five of Wands and the Five Pentacles. 5-5 with the Death card, that's 3 signals of change as far as synchronicities. 5-5 is transformation, change. It's also all the elements halfway to a goal. So it's like maybe you kept feeling like you got stuck over and over and over again, just wanting peace. And at some point you decided to stop investing in whatever this was. It's possible you're still in a waiting, watching phase. Ooh, but this hasn't made you very happy with the Sun in reverse. I don't think you've been able to see or think clearly. Yeah, Six of Pentacles on top of the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. It's like you had to take a step back because, you know, 6 is before 7. In no longer investing, you had to take a step back and find another form of balance. Now we have synchronistic numbers 6-6 here. 6 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles. Just getting some tea. Anybody got any snacks or tea or coffee you're drinking? Feel free to leave a comment on how you like to kick back. 10 of Wands, well, that's not kicking back. That's a huge burden on top of the 6 of Pentacles and then the 7 of Swords in reverse. Now we have 7-7. Wow, I see a progression here. I also see mirroring somehow, because the numbers are mirroring each other. 5-5, 6-6, 7-7. And they're coming out in progression. So this is a huge progression you have been making for a while. It's a huge burden. And you've already walked away from something, at least in your mind. I say mind because swords are mental energy. And 7 of Swords is known as the ghosting card. It's also possible for some of you that you can't walk away because of the burdens, maybe possible obligations. And you're trying to like balance some things before you can release these burdens and walk away. So that's for some of you. Strength in reverse on top of the 6 of Cups and 5 of Wands. So competing for this love has like kind of affected your confidence. Especially if it put you into a lack mindset, made you feel like you can't change maybe. Prince of Cups on top of the 5 Pentacles and the Death in reverse. Prince of Cups. That's the Knight of Cups. That's usually the knight that wants to come in with a big love offer, something serious, or a creative project. It could also be, like, for some of you, an escalation from being friends to being romantic with somebody. It's possible this motivated you to look at where you were lacking and where you were unable to change, or how you wanted to change, what you wanted to accomplish balance with. And all this underneath the Two of Cups. So it's either like this concept of an ultimate divine union with a soulmate, a higher level soulmate. Okay, Spirit. King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Eight of Pentacles also, and the Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to take all three of those on top of the Two of Cups. Whatever this concept, or it could be another person, it could be another soulmate possibly, does make you feel very courageous, makes you want to lead, but you haven't been able to work on what it is that you want to work on that'll bring you peace. But you want to offer something huge here with the Ace of Pentacles, or you're coming into like a lot of abundance, and abundance could be anything. But Ace of Pentacles is usually a gift from Spirit. It's a graduation of finances, of well-being, like it's overcoming health obstacles. Some of you've always embodied this King of Wands energy, this like fierce, strong, loyal, determined person, but what's happened in the past has made it difficult for you to work on what brings you great abundance. So it's possible that there were roadblocks in the way, or lack of motivation to work on the things that you know make you feel abundant. And abundance, I mean, let's think about that. That's first thing people think is money, right? Good money. Let's always remember when we're setting intentions, folks, when we talk about abundance, that we state that it is positive abundance. That's important for some. Because you could wish for an abundance of great food, and you could get an abundance of delicious food, and then you could have an abundant booty to go with it. And there is nothing wrong with that, let me tell you. However, you get my point. It's a really bad joke. You know, like, it's also an abundance of love. It's an abundance of good health, like I said. Perhaps you are a really healthy person, and for some of you, this person in the past was not. They didn't really have anything they were working towards. Nine of Wands. That's the Wounded Warrior card. That's somebody who's been through a very long battle, and it's a step back from the Ten of Wands, which we got here. Could be whoever you were involved with was wounded all the time. Maybe you couldn't focus on your dreams because you had to take care of them. Maybe it created a bit of a codependent dynamic. That's for some. I'm a very direct reader, so I'm also a psychic medium empath, so I pick up on energy, and I'm a seer, which means I know things. I have claircognizance, so I don't know how I know things, I just know things. So if you aren't prepared to potentially be activated in some of my readings, I suppose there's a disclaimer for you, okay? Yeah, so I just confirmed what I was saying. Now we have a progression forward again, but in reverse. So we had the Eight of Pentacles and then the Nine of Wands on top of that. Now we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, this is or was somebody who wasn't very independent. They weren't very stable, especially financially. Possibly they relied heavily on you, possibly wore you out, and this is part of the burden. And You know, we love the ones we love, right? But there's a certain point where, and yeah, I'm seeing Queen of Pentacles on the bottom here. I think that represents you, the Queen of Pentacles. I think you've been a stable, nurturing force to whoever this person is. And you've been a very caring person, and you've invested a lot. So it's like, it seems like, and also over here with the Five of Wands, it's like you fought for it. Possibly had a lot of things in your life not progress necessarily to your full potential. Wow, the Lovers. Yeah, I knew this was going to be about love when the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups, and now we have the Lovers. You want a deep, soulful connection. You want an equal, because Gemini is represented by the Lovers card. It's the twins. It also represents a choice, being the choice. Also union with the both divine masculine and divine feminine parts of ourselves and each other. Or it's being in union with somebody that makes you feel in balance with yourself. And if you have been somebody who's invested in this person or people, a certain type of kind of needy individuals, it's possible you haven't been in balance with yourself. And underneath this here, you know, we do have the Six of Swords, which is coming into more peaceful territory, right? And I'm really glad, I mean, right now so far we don't have like the Eight of Swords or the Nine of Swords or Ten of Swords, so you're not mentally torn up over this. I think you're just kind of watching and waiting. But again, this isn't making you very happy with the Sun in reverse. Yeah, I see the Ace of Cups in reverse now. And again, any aces are like a huge offer from Spirit. So like you really don't feel like you have any love you can truly offer. So you are sitting back. And I don't know what this offer is towards. Again, the Two of Cups up here could represent another person, a different soulmate, a deep soul love. I give spiritual guidance. I try not to pass judgments, so I do use discernment with what I talk about here. Remember that we all make our own decisions and we all decide what is true for us. Interesting. Some of the cards try to fly away, and it was the Prince of Cups, and it was upright before, and then it flipped upside down. So this is about like suddenly taking your cup away from something that you wanted to offer love to. Maybe you started to be really passionate about something or somebody. I say something because the creative project influence here. Maybe you felt like it wasn't the right time to invest in it because you have to think about what makes you happy here with the Princess of Swords and the Sun in reverse, with the Ace of Cups in reverse on top of that. Wheel of Fortune. Destiny makes you happy. Following your destiny, following your path, following what you know lights you up inside, what creative projects you want to work on, what kind of union you want to have in the future. And I say union, I just mean partnership, you know, and of course that limits us to a very monogamous type of person. There are other kinds of people out there. Yeah, and as I say that, the Hierophant in reverse. So There are other people out there who don't agree with marriage, and I don't usually read the Hierophant as marriage like other readers, but in this case, I think it goes perfectly with what I was saying. Is not everybody wants to be with just one person, whether that's like they don't want to settle down and have a long-term relationship, or they prefer to be more open. I've known people of all walks of life, so I have a bigger perspective. No, I'm not going to talk about my preferences on this YouTube video. Anyways, so I think really, if you're coming out of being the sole support for somebody, whatever that meant for you, in whatever union, and again, it could be a friendship, that it could be a long-term friend you lived with, it could be somebody you worked on a creative project with that you were deeply entangled with, possibly a childhood friend. Again, it doesn't have to be a lover from your childhood or like a childhood. It could also represent somebody that brings out your inner child in a more positive way. So it's like whoever or whatever this was, it did bring you great joy at one point, but it seems that it was a karmic cycle, because the Wheel of Fortune also represents karma. It represents changing the wheel of time, your fortune. This is upright, so it's like you've got great fortune you're walking towards here. For some of you, I'm just gonna say it. Some of you are still in a relationship and looking to end your partnership, with the Hierophant in reverse over the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, and I just pulled the Queen of Wands. Maybe it has something to do with desire. I don't want to go too deep into that because that's kind of veering into personal reading territory. I do offer those. I can do an audio recording, or I can do a over the phone reading. Over the phone's great if you want to mix in an astrology reading with that too. Yeah, Princess of Wands, a new quest, and that just went over the Prince of Cups. Something new has you fired up, and you haven't felt this kind of desire in a very long time. And this could be a new spiritual journey. This could be, for some of you, a younger person. Wow, Ten of Swords in reverse. With the Hermit in reverse. This is a separate energy coming in here, and I feel like this has to do with the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a side message, I suppose. If somebody wants to speak up about it, because I had to clear my throat there. Someone is already past. For some of you, this is a past energy that I'm describing, this whole process. Like maybe it's something from the past, some kind of betrayal, and the Hermit in reverse is being seen for it. So that was part of somebody's karmic past. Yeah, King of Cups. It had to do with like falling in love and like wanting a deep love and feeling depth in your soul. That wasn't recognized before. Maybe you felt like you were betraying yourself by not being able to fully express your love in some way. Yeah, Justice in reverse. This wasn't fair, it wasn't balanced, and I'm not saying whether it was you towards somebody or somebody towards you, or each apply it again how it fits, because it could be multiple different situations. This is a collective reading. But justice in reverse means this is something somebody has already paid for, in a sense. Or some of you, the scales of justice are about to be corrected. Again, no judgment, but just saying, like, you know, we have to reap what we sow, right? And when you're being true to yourself, you can be true to others. And maybe that's something you're realizing that makes you want to strive for a higher union, a higher love, because deep down inside you know that's how you actually want to love. Yeah. Queen of Cups, right next to the King of Cups. Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. It's possible the people you were with before, the projects you used to work on, or the friendships you used to have were not filling your cup, and you have an idea of what or who you want to love now. And it's this Queen of Cups. It is an unconditionally loving, nurturing, creative, emotionally deep energy. And again, that could be coming into union with a piece of yourself. I have to say, I felt this like subtle, really nervous energy. One, because it's partially me. I don't want to poke the bear too much. I am trying to keep that in mind. But I feel like someone is very timid about this. Somebody is very nervous about either these new experiences, feelings, realizations. Maybe you're not comfortable so much, but you really, really want it. You really, really want it. This could be your Ace of Pentacles. Whoa, and the deck almost just fell out of my hands. Hangman in reverse. So yeah, you just had a perspective change about something. Whatever you put a pause on before, it seems that that's coming up. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, Magician. You want to manifest the reality that you want to live. Maybe you know how to do that now and you didn't. Yeah, Four of Wands in reverse. Ending something that used to be a stable foundation, or something is no longer a stable foundation. Queen of Swords in reverse. That's interesting, because this Queen of Swords has like the Lover's motif in the background behind the Queen. The same artwork almost that's on the Lover's card here. Someone's cutting out some kind of injustice in their life, and they're being very sharp about it. And now the Queen of Swords is known to be a queen that has gone through some life experience, right? Who knows how to use her sword to cut out BS, but also finds a way to be compassionate about it. In reverse means there's none of that. In fact, sometimes it can be somebody who's a little harsh with their words. We'll put it that way. So be careful with that, whether you're experiencing that or you're doing that to yourself or you're doing it to others. Either way, it's not balanced. It's going to knock you out of harmony. This can also represent the truth and justice, so like possibly secrets being revealed, and it's possible you manifested this yourself, whatever that may mean for you. Whatever that may mean for you, okay? Because the Magician here upright is creating your own reality. If we get the Tower card, I'm just gonna, I don't know. No, but Eight of Wands. Huh. Communicating something very quickly. Moving towards something very quickly. Traveling. Like you're trying to manifest something really quick, which is interesting. for victory and success with the Six of Wands. I think that's the side message for some. I like to bring it back in here. Let's bring it back here to the Princess of Swords with the Sun in reverse and the Ace of Cups. We see this has been a karmic cycle. You've realized some deep love here. Yeah, Nine of Cups just came out. That's deep wish fulfillment. That is personal wish fulfillment. Something that really brings you a lot of love. This particular deck, it is a couple on it, and it is very sweet. Very sweet. I was going to ask like some advice here for this group with, because it's like we got the Queen of Cups next to the King of Cups, which by the way, that is a divine counterpart. Meaning that it is a higher love. It is a match. If this represents a particular person, or you know, these aspects of yourself coming into union with yourself, or it could be like two people who are really great in the creative field coming together to partner on something. So again, it doesn't have to be about love, but I feel like for the bulk of you it is. I'm going to work with the Herbcrafters Tarot now. Spirit, if you can give the part of the collective here any advice as far as how to proceed in this new King of Cups energy, whether it's towards a person, a project, a way of life, maybe new emotional expressions. Even though the King of Cups is not typically outwardly expressive with their emotions, they do experience them deeply. And usually those that they are most intimate with get to experience that part of who they are. So let's see, any advice for this part of the collective? And I'm getting chills on my arms, so that was significant for someone. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting, because we had the Six of Pentacles for this other group over here. Something is not in balance when it comes to equal give and take. It could also have to do with generosity. Four of Swords. Maybe you need to heal some kind of wounds within you as far as equal give and take. Meditate on ways that you feel like you've given too much. And remember that while, yes, you could say, oh, I did this and this and this and this and this for somebody, you have to ask why. If it depleted you, you also have to take accountability and at some point realize that your overgiving was codependent as well. That's for somebody. Yeah, Four of Cups. Now we have 4-4. That could be a synchronistic number. Wait, that means now we have 4-4, 5-5, 6-6, 7-7. 4, 5, 6, 7 could be significant, a synchronicity. 45 could, 67 could. Five of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you definitely need to think about your emotional foundation, how things that used to put you in deep regret, this could possibly have to do with how you were not able to give equally or receive equally, or yeah, this is the truth. Ace of Swords, represented by the yarrow plant. That's important. Look up the properties of yarrow medicinally and magically. Oh yeah, if you like woo-woo, you're gonna love my stuff. My business tagline is from the mundane to the mystical. Haya of Earth, so that in reverse, that's a Page of Pentacles in reverse. don't start a new project or new relationship or business investment yet. If you're thinking of offering your cup to something, whatever it is, the cards, and I'm reading the cards, so when I say I suggest, it's spirit and, any experience my soul is bringing up for the reading as a guide. The Four of Cups can be, fours represent foundation, right? It seems that you really need to meditate on what is kind of boring to you, like maybe ways that you haven't seen what you've had to offer. For some of you, that's a side message. Yeah, Ten of Swords. It's time to cut out the things that have sabotaged you, that have wounded you mentally. Things that you've really had to battle over. I mean, you're over these things, but they linger here. In this Four of Cups, it can almost be like you're really just, it's not the Seven of Cups where there's too many options, but it's like you're at a standstill here. You're not paying attention to something. It has to do with grieving some truths before you can start building something new, because you're still overcoming some kind of anguish, some kind of battles, some kind of mental conflict, some kind of way of thinking. So that's for that group, okay? I definitely focus on what you consider, what you consider equal give and take, and maybe, and that doesn't have to represent materialism, right? Even though it's a pentacle, it could represent how you physically give to others or how you receive. Because you got to ask yourself, if you are an overgiver, for some of you are, especially with that King of Cups energy, how have you sabotaged yourself with the Ten of Swords over here again, in not receiving the love that you desire? I think that's something important for you to think about. And I think that once you figure out what truly makes you feel balanced within yourself, like, okay, I know that I do too much of this, or I know I don't do enough of that. Like, do I want to be this, or do I need to be with somebody who complements that aspect of me? What would complement that aspect of me? Is there anything I can do for myself that's going to bring about that characteristic, so I'm not looking for it or projecting it onto other people, into other people in future relationships, right? This is how you find your truth with the Ace of Swords. It's also how you finally put an end to like feeling this hopeless sadness and regret with the Five of Cups in reverse. That can represent either coming out of that feeling or being really, 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 really stuck in it, which means you definitely can't go towards a Queen of Cups energy, whatever that is, until you face this. And meditation can really help you come into balance. Also, a practice of gratitude. Be grateful, because even when we have a lot of things, remember, it's important to remember when we haven't. Not to dwell on the past, but to see how far we've come and to celebrate that, right? Four of Wands in reverse, which we got earlier, is also not having anything to celebrate in life, because they can represent celebrations, not just ceremonies and weddings and houses and marriages and all that, but they can represent just having a reason to celebrate in life. And that would be 444 on the cards, by the way, another synchronicity. So I just pulled the Knight of Wands card, Adelita of Fire, represented by Cayenne. Let me tell you, Cayenne will get your metabolism going, that's for sure. You want to move really quickly towards something with a lot of passion. But I'm telling you, as hard as it may be, sit your ass down and sit still and think about these things. Don't bypass them. That's how you accomplish the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups within yourself, is you go deep within yourself and you think about things. Okay? Yeah, Ace of Cups up right now. So we just transmuted that energy. That is going to make it to where you can offer your cup of love, or have that kind of divine love to offer, or start a new creative project, and possibly with a Queen of Cups motif. All right, let's go over to this other group here. So I feel like that was kind of interweaving a lot of the different groups. We've got at least 3 here. I think I'd like to give some advice here, spiritual guidance. When I say advice, it's not medical, mental health advice. I'm an advocate, but I'm not a professional. I do have a disclaimer in the description box, so remember to always use your discernment, okay? But, wow, moon in reverse. Okay, so I wanted to read over here on this group that is headed towards this type of union, which kind of ties to what we just talked about. So some of you may still resonate with this. The groups overlap, okay? So this is for somebody who once isn't a Knight of Cups energy. They want to come towards, they are actually also, there's a King of Wands energy here too. So we have a Knight of Cups and a King of Wands. And then we also have a Queen of Pentacles. So we actually have 3 other personality types potentially in this. Some of you have always been focused on giving your cup of love to somebody or something. Some of you have always been focused on leading in your field, taking action, getting things done, possibly already having a spiritual path. Yeah, you guys aren't going to believe this. I just pulled from my other deck, and it's the Curandera of Fire, which is the King of Wands. So double confirmation, 2 King of Wands right there. You are already a spiritual leader in your own right, whoever you are, and that could be many people, but that's some powerful energy right there. Wow. I'm just gonna sit with that for a second. Why don't y'all drop a star in the comments if you're still hanging in. I really appreciate it. And so does the algorithm. You know, it supports my work. I am building a community here. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Heavy on the Leo energy, like possibly a Leo stellium or a double Leo. And I don't usually read signs, but that's coming in very strong. Whew. New journey here, huh? With the Fool. Taking a leap of faith. I think for this particular person that has just started to dominate the energy, hello, you're going towards your Queen of Pentacles. So this Queen of Pentacles, this 3rd personality I was picking up on, was not necessarily a separate part of the collective, yet it could be. But possibly you really want to charge towards this Queen of Pentacles. Once you think about who that might be for you, just lighting some incense here. Someone who is stable, strong, nurturing,